Hey yo, what up guys? The long awaited equipment video and tutorial on how to farm on my zero. Let's get started. So we got my 4 rings, I got 20% drop rate, 20% drop rate, 40% Meso obtained, 20% drop rate, 20% Meso obtained. Got my pink bean cup, my VIP necklace 20% drop, my gold expended 20% drop, 20% Meso, my weapon, belt, CRA hat. I did this like a double dip with both the CRA and the Absolab set. My tattoo, I got 20% drop and 20% Meso. My right raccoon mask, 50% drop. My top, my bottom, shoe, my earrings, shoulder, glove. Got a crappy Android, but I have a okay Evo scrolled heart. And my cape. You already saw this weapon. I don't wear a medal because I don't think it looks good, so I don't use it. And then I got a badge. Unfortunately, I don't have a Sengoku one. And then my emblem. And so in total, I have 27k stat, and then with the Maple Warrior, I'm at 28k. I don't think you actually need all this, but it's easier to make it easier for me, I guess. In total, I have 155% drop rate amongst these equips, and I also have 100% drop or Meso obtained. And I think Meso obtained right now is more important than drop rate, just because you can get other sources of drop rate. For instance, I use the Oda Warrior, and I get increases item drop rate by a large amount, and I'd prioritize getting that over any other familiar if you want to farm on a zero, just because then the single line of just item drop rate is, I think it's almost twice, I believe, of when it's mixed with Meso as well. For me, I think Meso is useless in regular server, because then the bags pretty much drop 100% of the time, so that doesn't really matter. And then moving on to Legion, I'm actually low-key going to 10k Legion myself, and so I actually have quite a few 250s, and so something that actually helped me here was my Phantom is level 250, so it has 1% extra Meso obtained here as well, so it's 5% as opposed to most people's 4%. And I also have where'd it go? My Mercedes. It's my 6% cooldown as opposed to 5, but that doesn't really matter because I think most of the cooldowns for zero are really short. This is just me just kind of breaking it apart, kind of YOLO, whatever. So it'll be easier for me to put it back on later because I don't want to obtain too much EXP. I also have in my farm, I also have some Meso obtained here as well. And as most people know, you could use an S rank toy, which would be my Black Knight here, and then there's also the Thieving Moon Bunny right here, which is also 4%. So that's just like that, that's 10% for free. And then continuing from there, my buffs, usually when I'm farming Meso, I use Cash Up 2x, and I use a Wealth Potion, the Legion Wealth. I mean, to be honest, the Legion Wealth doesn't make the biggest difference, because then I get about 650 mil per hour with my vac pets with the Wealth, the Legion Wealth, but when I don't use it, I still get around 500. So pretty much when I'm looking at 4 hours right now, I'm still getting 2 bill at the bare minimum, which that's a joke. That's way too much, man. And I guess I'll take you over to where the magic happens, to do a live demonstration, because for some reason people thought this was high APM or something, which honestly shocked me. So give me a sec. Oh, and before I move on, I totally forgot. Links. So you pretty much just want anything that can give you free damage, and so I have Phantom, Xenon, Cygnus, Hayato, Kinesis, Ho-Young, and Pirate. I have my other links on my main, but if I didn't do that, if you don't have 100% crit rate, which you should, but if you don't have the Legion for it, use Phantom, And then if you need to use Kana, use Demon Avenger, use Unfair Advantage, and you make sure you pair it with the mage one here. And you know, you can use pretty much anything that increases damage. Even Adele helps as well. So pretty much any damage one will help you when you're farming. The Arc is pretty good as well. And you could also use Elysium. The thing is, I don't really need that just because I really overfunded my character, and also right now there's also the Sengoku whatever event that gives 30% damage, which is pretty free. But yeah, I'll be right back to the map. Alright, so now I'm at the map. Let me turn on my webcam so you guys can try to see the hand. Because I saw on Reddit a lot of people were complaining saying, oh, this takes a lot of focus, a lot of high APM, but I mean, this is like really basic stuff. You just got to alternate from Wind Cutter and with Giga Crash, and all you need to do is just alternate holding them down. And so the main premise of this is to you use your shockwaves, and then it one-hit KOs the mobs, and you try to maintain that, and then you loot in between those counters. And so I have 3 Vac Pets, which greatly speeds up the process because it takes about 15 seconds for me to loot the whole map, but normally without these Vac Pets it probably would take about 25 to 30 seconds. And so let's just get started really quick. So first of all, you gotta make sure you have your speed infusion and your decent combat orders along with your holy symbol. Take out your familiar, make sure you have the right legion preset, and then you just farm just like that. Oops, I didn't turn my webcam. Here's my webcam. But basically, you just alternate between the 2 skills, and you just hold down whichever skill you need to swap into. And so for me, I use a battle analysis, so in that way I can keep track of how long I should farm for before I start looting. And so right here, I'm just gonna farm for about a minute and a half, because that's my usual cycle. And nothing really much to say, but you can see this is really high APM, boys. This is real, working up a sweat doing this, man. And so you can see me kind of like twitch at the bottom, and that's because what I'm actually doing is I'm using the burst step, and at the bottom, if you teleport to the floor off the bottom already, then you get brought up to the top. And so I have my 2 main skills on S and F, but if you really wanted to, you can put it on something like delete and end if you really wanted to be lazy, and you can just train one-handed, or not really train, but I mean Meso farm one-handed, and then you just keep going and going, and it's just a cycle. And the thing is, whenever your decent skills run out, you gotta make sure when you're rebuffing them, you animation cancel them, because then you can always tag to alpha beta whenever you're casting, and then it'll cancel the animation. So in that way it saves like milliseconds. But I mean, if you don't do that, it doesn't really make that, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so here I have my minute and a half, and so what I like to do is just send out the shockwave, and then I jump over. Gotta recast the shockwave on the top, recast it on the bottom, and then my pets are going to work. And see, as I'm looting, I'm making sure my shockwaves are always up. And then if I need to, sometimes I just put it on the wheel, just because I feel like it might help a little. But to be honest, this was honestly a joke. I wasn't really serious world record, whatever, man. This is just a really casual farming. As you can tell, like, you can see I'm barely like trying right now. And like half the time I'm literally just watching YouTube videos and whatnot, and I look over, oh, it's a minute and a half, oh, it's 3 minutes, oh, I need to go loot, and I just run a really quick loot cycle. And so now I'm going to quick decent combat orders. I am the girl here, and so I cast decent combat orders and switch to the guy, just like that. Easy animation cancel. And same thing again for holy symbol, bam, animation cancel. You just gotta press it, and then press whatever skill, and then you tag out. It's pretty simple. As you can see right here, pretty much ran for about 3 minutes. I'm not using any multipliers or anything right now besides my equips, and I guess I've already looted 8 mil. And I'm gonna go for another quick cycle. So usually whenever I go for a loot cycle, those 15 seconds, it loots about 10 mil, which is really absurd. These backpets are actually pretty darn good. See, just like that. It pretty much just looted 4 mil. And yeah, that's basically how I farm on my 0. And I just do this for about 4 hours a day. I grab my 2 bill, because without the Legion wealth potions, or the Legion buffs, then I get 500 mil an hour, which is still pretty good, considering like all my other meals I made to 250, even with the Legion buffs, they're only making 250 to 300 mil an hour at best. And this by itself is already double. And so I mean, this just really shows the power of 0. And just once again, just show another quick loot cycle. Just jump through, cast a shockwave, cast your shockwave as we backpets this loot. And yeah, it's pretty simple, just like that. I mean, the main thing that makes it hard to do this is just you need a frenzy totem, and then you also need to be strong, and you also need vac pets. Well, you don't necessarily need vac pets, but if you do vac pets, it might be a little bit slower. And that's just my tutorial, boys. Good luck.